Welcome back to my channel. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. You got a conditional offer of study and your university is requesting for you to apply for ATAS. So this is how to apply. That is the website. So go on Google, put in that website and it shows up this page. You can read the content because ATAS is requested for PhD students, and also master's students require ATAS. That's if you're going for a master's research course. Engineering master's taught course also need ATAS, and there might be other disciplines that need ATAS, so you want to confirm, and you can apply 6 months before your course will start. ATAS certificate is also valid for 6 months, so you need to be sure that you're applying at the right time. From my previous application, ATAS takes about 2 months for it to come out, so you want to apply early, so plan your timeline. There are other information here that you can also read to be sure that you're doing the right thing, or to be sure that this is really for you. If you're conducting research, you will need to get an ATAS certificate while submitting your application. ATAS certificate is meant for only one university, so if you're applying for another higher education, you have to use another ATAS certificate, so it's specific to a particular university, so you need to pay attention to that. So what you need to apply, they've listed all the documents there, but as the video progresses you'll see it. One important thing you need is the CAH3 code from your university. They would have put it in your offer letter, or they would have put it in the email they sent to you, so check that and have it handy. So you want to proceed to click create an account and put your email address, create a password, and then click create account. If you already have an account, you just sign into your account, but initially you start off with creating an account. So you click apply for ATAS certificate and it asks you, is it a taught or research course? So it's a taught course, you fill it. And then there is another check to be sure that you have your CAH3 code, and then you start your application. So they've got different subsections. You start with the proposed study. What university will you be studying for? This is why we say ATAS certificate is specific to a university. And then you put the title of the course or the subject you're studying. It's very good to check your offer letter or confirm from the university what you are not sure about. So there's an expected start date that you can put in there. You just have a rough estimate. Sometimes universities have not posted their particular start date by when you want to apply, so you just want to estimate it. Put your CAS code, and then there's a question asking you what you'll be studying. For master's course, you just write a brief description of the course, but for PhD, I got a description from my offer letter, or sometimes for PhD, the advert, what they put in the advert, you can just put it there. But for master's course, you want to create something from the web page or what you'll be studying, and some models. You can include some of the models there. The next part is, why do you want to study this course? So what I did is I just went to my personal statement to take that section of why I want to study this course. Mind you, there is a word limit, about 2,000 characters. You cannot put so many, so you want to be specific on why you want to study that course. And then the other part of the question is, what are the goals when you complete your intended programs? Like, what are your goals? So what I did is, in my personal statement, the aspect where I talked about my future goals, I just copied it, highlighted it there, and then moved it into the section where it is. So it's quite handy to have your personal statement with you. So you click save for later and go back and click edit. Then you go to the next section, which is personal details. You put your title, you put your given names. This will include your first name and your middle name, and then you put your surname, you put your gender, and you put your date of birth. What town or city were you born? What country do you belong? There's a drop down box there. You fill it as it applies to you, and you put your passport number. You want to be very careful that it is the same thing that you have in your passport, so that when you are applying for your visa, there's no complication. So you want to be careful with your passport number, when your passport was issued and when it's expiring. So you want to include that there. Your nationality. Have you gotten any refusal to the UK or admission? If you've gotten any refusal, you say yes, and it's going to ask you for more details, like a description of why you've gotten a refusal. Just be brief about that. And then you answer the other questions about military training, government research. whatever is applicable to you, you talk about that. Do you have English proficiency? You say yes, and you just guess your proficiency. I've said full professional for myself, so it might differ for you. So yeah. So you click save for later and it takes you back to the application, and then you click edit, then you start the next one, which is spouse. Do you have are you single? Do you have a civil partner? Are you divorced, or you married? So whichever one is applicable to you, you choose that. So for instance, if you choose civil partner, this is the other things they need from you about your partner. You have to put it there. If you also choose married, let me try and choose married and see what comes up. So it also shows you details of your partner. You also need to fill that there, and then you go to the next part of your application, and that is the contact details. You want to put your details, your phone number, your address, your postcode, where you live. If you don't live in the UK, you put your international address there, you put your international phone number, and then you save it. You go to the next section, which is your undergraduate or postgraduate studies. Have you ever taken your undergraduate course or postgraduate course? You put yes. You put the university name. Mine, it was an international, like overseas, so I put my overseas university there, Nnamdi Azikiwe University. You put the university address. You can also Google that. If you Google it, it shows you the address. You put the zip code, and you put the country. You put the title of the course you studied, when you started the course, and when you ended the course. You can check that from your degree certificate. When you ended the course, it's usually on your degree certificate, but when you start, you want to estimate it depending on when you started. And then you put the qualification, what you studied. So you want to briefly describe what you studied. Then you also want to include the modules that you were taught. I find that useful. Also take note that there's a word limit, about 500 characters, so you want to be brief as possible. Talk about what your course is about. Just see me trying to figure out how to write something very short. It can be that daunting sometimes. So yeah, so when I say modules, I know you've done a lot of modules in your 4 years of study or 5 years of study, so just pick like the main ones, like the important ones that will reflect your degree. So that's what I've just put there. And I also included English, so that they know that I've got proficiency in English. And then if you have another study, you click on another study. In my case, I have a master's, so I also want to include that there. You want to write your university name, you go ahead to write all the other things you filled previously: the university address, their postcode, the country, the course title, and when you started the course. You can check that from, if you did a master's in the UK, you can check that from your letter, like your CAS letter or your degree certificate. That's what I just basically went to my CAS, picked out the start and end date, included it in my application. And then for what you studied, you also want to briefly describe what you studied, include all the modules that you covered there, and then you click on another study if you have another study, or you just save for later, and then you go on to the next one, which is other studies. Have you taken other studies? You start on that one. You put I think what I did, I put online course that I did from academic Europe, or any study that you have online. I also included another study that I did in University of Birmingham. So any other study that you've done from online study, it might be useful to also put it, that it could strengthen your application or not, I don't know, but I just put any other study that I've done. And then you also fill in the similar details: when you started, when you ended, what was the qualification, what you studied, a brief description of it, and the modules that you did. And then you save for later. You go on to the next one. The next one is published papers. So any paper that you've published in the past, you put it there. If you've not published, you just say no, but if you've published, you say yes. It asks you for the title of your paper, what was the when you published it, and what is the summary of your paper. So what I just did is I just went on Google, checked my paper, went to the conclusion part, initially I put the whole abstract, but there was a word count limit, so I just put only the conclusion because the character limit was just so small. So yeah, so you just want to put the summary of your paper there. And then if you have another paper, you click add another paper there. You put as many papers that you want to put, and that's me putting all my papers there. It also strengthens your application, but if you don't have papers, don't be worried, it will still come out successfully. Yeah, so I saved for later, and I went to the next section, which is employment history. So if you've got any employment history so far, you want to put yes, and then you put the details of your employment. What is the name of the job? What is the address of the employer? What is the postcode? If it was from overseas, you want to put your zip code. What is the country? What was your position? When did you start the course? You want to put all these things. Sorry, when did you start the job? You want to put all of them, and your job description, you also want to include that. There is a character limit too on that, so you don't want to write too many things or unnecessary things, so you want to go straight to the point. And then you save for later. You go to the next thing, which is the referee. So there's an explanation there that you want to read. They said they need at least 2 referees before you submit the application, and one must be an academic referee from your country of origin. So you want to be careful. If you've been in the UK for your masters, you still want to take somebody from your country of origin for your referee. And then the second one can be anybody, but they don't want you to put family and friends, please. So that is the referee. So you put the title of the referee and put their full names, their email address. Please put an email address because they're going to contact them. So you want to put a correct email address. You put a telephone number. You put for what period you've known the person. Usually referees is about 3 years of knowing the person. So if it's just 1 year you know the person, you just want to avoid that sort of reference. The next thing is sponsor. Who will be sponsoring your study for the particular course you are applying? Are you self-sponsored? You put it there. For my case, I'm sponsored by the University of Manchester, so I want to put all their details there. But if it's your family, you want to put your family details there, the country, the email address of the person. Yeah, so that is basically that. So when you finish it, it shows you at the top that your application is ready to submit. So you just hit the submit application button. You can just go back again and click edit, edit, edit to be sure that you've done everything in the correct way that they want it. And then when you submit, it just shows you that it's submitted on the green button. You've got your reference number, and then they're going to send you an email later to say you've submitted. So I've signed out, and that is me. So you guys, if you found this video useful, please subscribe to this channel, like this video, and see you in my next video. Bye.